verse 79, to show that it is impossible for the soul to be the receiver of the fruits of karmas, the disciple presents his first argument. What is the fundamental truth? The soul is the receiver of the fruits of karmas. That is the truth. What is the doubt? That the soul is not the receiver, it was the doer, but it will not receive the fruits of the karmas. So that was the doubt. And for this doubt, he is presenting two arguments. So this is the first argument he is presenting to support his doubt that the soul does not receive the fruits of karmas. Clear? Sing.
जीव कर्म करता कहो पण भोगता नहीं सोय शू समझे जड़ कर्म के फल परिणामी होय.
So first line is just the acceptance of the third pad, and the actual argument is in the second line of the verse. So we will go word by word. Jeev, soul. Karma karta is the doer of karma. Kaho, if you say so, that the soul is the doer of karma, I admit or I accept or I am convinced. Because you said so, but I am convinced. So जीव कर्म करता आप कहो छो, so I am accepting it. But that I am accepting it because I am convinced that the jeev is karma no karta, the soul is the doer of karmas. And I sambhavte no thai che that way, I accept it. Now a new doubt has come up in me. But bhokta, receiver of the fruits of karma, nahi ho, it cannot be. I accept that the soul is the doer of karmas, that I accept because of your logical answer solution. But to consider the soul as the receiver of the fruits of karmas, it cannot be. जीव कर्म करता हो पण भोगता नहीं सोय. एक्शन करतो એટલે ખબર પડે જીવ કર્મ કરતા કહો ફાઇન પણ ભોગતા નહીં. Karta, I can admit or accept. Admit in the sense I was the person who doubted it, so I'm admitting I'm wrong. That is for ego. Admit shabda is for your ego and accept is for your agna. Now, why is he saying this? It's in the second line. Shu samjhe jad karma ke phala parinami hoy. So, shu samjhe, how can jad karma, lifeless karma, karma to lifeless છે ને, animate છે કે inanimate છે? Inanimate છે. So, inanimate or non-sentient or lifeless or material substance. So, how can lifeless karmas, jad karma, know? Jad means no consciousness. So how does it know? Phala parinami hoy means how does that jad matter know whom, where, how, what fruit have I to give? You need someone intelligent to decide, right? Intelligent you need, right? तो कोई इंटेलिजेंट एंटिटी तो જોઈએ ને, who will decide I have to give back to Shiv at 11:20 and in this intensity, this type of fruits, whatever. Some intelligent, someone who has a perfect knowledge can do this, but karmas are lifeless, inanimate. So how does it can stick to the stole, it's bound. But how does it know that now in 10 minutes I have to fructify and I have to give him fruits, I have to bash him down, I have to inflict something? How will someone inanimate as karma know this? બેસે છે કે નથી બેસતું મગજમાં? Short meaning. It can be accepted that the soul is the doer of karmas, but it does not necessarily follow. But that does not mean it necessarily follow logically. It follows કે doer હોય તો receiver હોય જ ને. It does not. That the soul is a receiver of it. How can inanimate, lifeless matter, karma, have the understanding to give fruits of the karmas to the doer? Who is the doer here? The soul. In a particular way, at a particular time. આપણે રિવેન્જ લેવો હોય તો વી પ્લાન, રાઈટ? કે આ જ્યારે આમ બોલશે ને ત્યારે પછી સંભળાવી દેશું એને. સો યુ નીડ એન ઇન્ટેલિજન્ટ એન્ટિટી ટુ ગીવ બેક. એન્ડ how do inanimate karmas know which soul, why, when, how much, what, all these W's? How will an inanimate object know? Perfect. Okay. So the Guru has established the doership of the soul through the logical arguments, and the disciple has accepted it. He says, I have rationally understood that if the soul abides, previous gatha bole, if the soul abides in the awareness of its true nature, then it is the doer of its nature, or say manifestation. If it does not abide in the awareness of its true nature, nij bhanma na rahe, so it becomes the doer of impure feelings. And finally, because of impure feelings, what happens? So the impure feelings become instrumental in the binding of the karma. So we can say from one viewpoint, from the relative viewpoint, but you people are smart. From which viewpoint? Upcharit or anupcharit? So from the anupcharit vyavharnai, we can say that is the doer of karmas. લાંબુ લાંબુ શું લખવાનું? એક તો સ્પેસ આપનામાં ઓછી હોય, પણ લાંબુ લખશો નહીં તો બી મરશો. Because you should have the absolute viewpoint in your mind when you are writing the relative viewpoint. Otherwise, route બદલાઈ જશે તમારું. એટલે સર લાંબુ લાંબુ થાય તો નીચે પછી ઉપર લખજો, પછી સાઈડ પર લખજો, જેમ લખવું હોય પણ લાંબુ લખવું જ પડશે. કે you can only harbor impure feelings. The rest happens because of the nature of the substances in the universe. This was your choice. Then there is nothing like your choice. You say, I choose to do krodha, but I don't want to get the karmic bondage. No, you don't have that choice. The choice was you want to do krodha or you don't want to do krodha. Then everything follows. It is automatic. Pachi. But this choice is where dharma gives you refuge. Because of dharma, you start making right choice, samyak darshan, then right behavior, samyak charita. Fine? So he's understood all this, but he admits that I fail to understand how can jad karma bear consequences. It is jad. Till it had to just travel and stick, I could understand. But now it has to decide a time, it has to decide what to give, when to give, how to give, the intensity, etc. All this needs a knowledgeable entity. And because the karmas are lifeless, inanimate, I don't understand how will it decide કે હવે આને મરી જવાનું, હવે આને સુખી થવાનું, હવે આને આમ થવાનું, કાલે એને તાવ આવવાનો. So how will the karma decide કે come on 12 o'clock I have to come as fever? How? So computers બી હોય તો બી બધા મને લાગે ક્રેશ થઈ જાય. With infinite living beings, imagine. And so he's not saying that you are wrong. He's saying I fail to understand. See the Vinay. તમે કહી દો તો હું પૂછું બી નહીં, હું માની લઉં. But if you are saying no, you need to understand, I have faith in you. So without understanding also I can accept it. But it is you who is saying, no, you must understand before putting it into conduct. So Gnan is necessary for Charitra. You are saying so I am admitting that I fail to understand. So beautifully, Ajito, next one is a wonderful argument. And you'll almost be convinced that the soul can be the doer of karmas, but not the receiver of the fruits of karmas for sure. So he's saying it does not seem logically possible, just as you will never think as the clock will tell me, no, finish fast. The clock cannot. The clock cannot think કે અત્યારના હું 11:25 બતાવું છું. The clock cannot know this much also, the watch, the clock, yeah. The clock does not even know that, though it is showing 11:25, but it does not know itself that I'm showing 11:25. It is not telling me how or what I should be doing. Should I take 5-7 minutes or should I just complete it, finish it abruptly? No, I'm not asking you, I'm talking about the clock. તમને પૂછું તો તમે તો easy રસ્તો જ બતાવશો. I'm not asking you. The clock, the pot cannot think for itself. The pot cannot suggest pot હોય, cloth હોય, because we always use ઘટપટ. હા, અને અહીંયા તમને બતાવું છું clock. So the clock cannot think, the clock cannot, it does not have the ability to think or convey or inflict. It cannot. Similarly, the karmas cannot think. See, you need an entity. If you're talking about judgment, you need the person, the entity which judges should be intelligent and having perfect knowledge. આ 700 ભવ પહેલા તે આ કર્મ બાંધ્યું હતું, and it had to come in uday or say fructify at this time when you are surrounded by such circumstances, because you had committed the sin in that circumstances. So eva jare avse tyare it should come. So all this needs perfect knowledge. Data શું કહેવાય? No, I've been hearing data also. So data હોવો જોઈએ, એ ડેટા બરાબર સ્ટડી કરેલો હોવો જોઈએ, અને એ ખુદ ઇન્ટેલિજન્ટ હોવો જોઈએ, અને શાર્પ પણ હોવો જોઈએ. 11:20 means he should start attacking and giving fruits at 11:20. Cannot say કે હું જરા પાણી પીવા ગયેલો તો 5 મિનિટ લેટ થઈ ગયો. પાણી પીવા જાય જ નહીં, જડ cannot go, but just for the sake of arguing. So it has to be intelligent, perfect knowledge, sharp. It has to be sharp. All three things we don't see in the jad karmas. What sharp are you talking? It's not a conscious substance, so you can't even associate the word, your favorite word, knowingness. It does not even know that I am stuck to Nemiji's soul. Does that karma know? તારી સાથે કર્મ જોડાયેલા છે કે નહીં? But does the karma know that I'm not stuck to Maulikji's soul, I'm stuck to Nemiji's soul. So whatever I do, I should inflict only Nemiji and not Maulikji. Maybe he's sleeping just next to him, but the fruits should go only to Nemiji and not to Maulikji. એટલો શાપ છે કર્મ? Why? Dumb છે? અરે, it is without consciousness, so no conscious activity of intelligence or knowledge or sharpness you can't expect. So simple. So how can an inanimate karma know particular soul ne particular way ma I have to give fruits? It should be a huge mango fruit, and it should be given that too at 12 o'clock. તમે ભૂલી જશો, તમે તો કોન્શિયસ સબસ્ટન્સ છો ને, તમે તો કોન્શિયસ સબસ્ટન્સ છો ને, તમને કોઈ ઇન્સ્ટ્રક્શન આપ્યો તમે ભૂલી જશો. So how do you expect this in inanimate? So all the questions, what fruit to give, whom to give, where to give, why to give, चलो ये तो past story છે ભૂલી જાઓ, why छोड़ी दो, and how much to give. I told Dr. Manse that you give some mangoes to Shibani. So what is the meaning of some? How will you interpret some એટલે? To Nemiji, you? He used to tell me I only used to have some mangoes per day. My mummy, she used to give me only some mangoes. I said, fine, how many? Okay, 6 per day. So some is 6 for him. 2 at breakfast, 2 at lunch, 2 at dinner. In the mango season, of course. So some may, you have to say how much. And the karmas also should know how much pain to give. ભલે એને કોવિડ લાવો પણ કેટલું સિવિયર ને કેટલું માઇલ્ડ, કર્મસ should have all this sense. So what, where, when, who, how much, all this is a conscious activity which we cannot find in karmas, and we cannot even expect, because it is a jad substance, inanimate substance, simple as that. So he says, because of this, I do not understand how it can give fruits. And if it does not give fruits, so the soul is not the receiver. If there is no giver only, how can someone receive? So if the karmas cannot give fruits, so the soul cannot receive. So that's what I said, the soul is not the receiver of fruits. That was my doubt. Let's sing.
जीव कर्म करता कहो पण भोगता नहीं सोय, शू समझे जड़ कर्म के फल परिणामी हो।